Hey guys, sorry if things sound a little different today. I'm back home, so I got that going for me, yay. Just letting you know if audio still sounds weird or anything, or if I sound sick, that's why. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Alrighty, if you haven't seen my last video on the subject, I suggest you go and do that. And the rules are the same for the most part, you know, like how I can switch out characters at any time unless I'm in the middle of a battle and the character's in the red. And I don't have to do every piece of side content, but I can do the side content if I want to. Now, as for Skylanders I'm going with, if you remember last time, we lost 6 of the 8 Skylanders who had returned to save Skylands, leaving only Bash and Igniter. However, this time we have the Giants with us. T-Rex and Ninjini. Both Skylanders I love a lot. However, before we can get into the game, it's exposition time. 10,000 years ago, Skylands was ruled by the ancient Archeans, giant robots who towered over most structures. They were forcing the local Mabu to build their monuments, and it was time for the first Skylanders to jump in. T-Rex is out as the first Skylander, up to the fight while walking through the time of the Giants. Here, we learn how the Giants work. The Giants, as said in the name, are giants. While no longer the biggest Skylanders since Track Team, Giants are still the strongest, slowest, and most powerful Skylanders, able to defeat Chompies just by stepping on them, as well as being able to pick up some objects and talk through cracked floors, but that's for another time. Now, after meeting up with Gigantus, we get locked in a Chompy pit, and this is where the Giants' massive health bar comes in useful. That's right, the Giants have health bars that can go over 1000. Again, somehow, it's still not unique to them. And the experience bar goes up to level 15 now, wow! Well, on Elemental Gate later, we head outside to find Concatron. Although originally meant to be an Archean under construction, he just kind of stands on a floating platform. However, 1 lock, 2 locks, 3 locks gone, and the giant robot is destroyed. Then, we see what caused all the giants to be launched to Earth. So now in battle with the Archean who ruled them all, the 8 giants won. They managed to rip off the giant iron fist of Arcus, but in doing so, ancient elementals were shot to Earth. Only 2 were ever found to return to Skylands. And this is where we pick up in the modern day. Chaos is still stuck on Earth in a toy shop, which seems to have been retconned from his location in SSA, but don't worry, this isn't the only game to retcon something from SSA. While Chaos was a statue, he breaks free, somehow. And then he gets, well, this.
I'd like to see you try, Chaos.
Who said that? Well, look what we have here. Mighty Skylanders, frozen with fear in my awesome presence.
If I could move, I'd be dropping the hammer on you right now.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Aw, but you can't, can you? Know why? Because I am a portal master, and you're not. And in case you hadn't noticed, my powers far exceed any of yours.
So, after Chaos begins to hallucinate and talk to toys, Glamtrans breaks into a display kiosk, and Chaos decides that since he's a portal master, he should use a portal. Apparently that doesn't go well, as he makes it back to Skylands, but is supercharged with some kind of energy, and that manages to charge up the Concatron that T-Rex managed to take down. Now with his own Archean, it's time to go and take him down. Cut to the core of light, where Flynn has managed to go from the greatest balloonist in all of Skylands to the greatest pilot in all of Skylands. Hugo runs over and explains that Mr. Nobody has said that something big is going on and they have to figure out what's going on, and that a portal master will be sending Skylanders and Giants to help out. So we ditch Hugo and set off. One boom later, we find ourselves having to track down some spare parts. All the ship will fall into the void. Up first, we're after the ultimate music system, so we head to the Junkyard Isles. Now, the reason we have to go get it is because Flynn is banned for reasons he won't get into. Here is where we come across walls that only bombs can get rid of. Oh, and also giants. Looking down at the portal, I realise I've only been T-Rex this entire time, to which are 2 Ninjini. After a little bit of exploration, we come across an elemental zone. Areas in Skylands where Skylanders of the same element are boosted to cosmic proportions of power. It's a slight exaggeration, but the giants do feel that way sometimes while playing. Ninjini continues her rampage through the aisles, and after telekinetically picking up a boulder, you come across the first feat of strength. Areas built to show the raw strength of these big boys. And go. After yanking on my chain and grabbing treasure chests that we absolutely do not need, we get the ultimate music player and then move on to the next island, where we learn our engine is a family of raccoons, and we need to go grab somebody who's willing to sell us the engine for a really good price. Breaking our way through more enemies, Ningini breaks down some houses where Jiro keeps spawning from. We then raid a house, bounce across some islands, push back a block and even get more treasure, and learn about Chompy Pits, a little late but alright. However, to get the engine, we have to talk to Auric, who is a nice man willing to sell us the engine for 1 coin, assuming we let him tag along on our ship. Before we can move on and go, we have to go and get a compass, and we find Persephone, who's now managed to speak English much better now. After refusing to upgrade Ningini as she's perfect the way she is, we start to fight through more enemies, and finally switch to somebody else as we're at an elemental gate. This Earth elemental gate is a quick little romp, but afterwards I switch back to Ningini as I continue to fight through more enemies. And this is where we come across the part where, even though I'm playing the PS3 version, it's still built on top of a Wii game, and as such, turrets are still here. Now there is no definitive version of Giants like there was for SSA, just play whichever version you have, there is no bad version of this game. But, you know, I'm playing PS3 here, so... Continuing on, we get to the Golden Compass and are no longer stuck in the Chocolate Sea. Flynn avoids the question of what the heck he did here before, and we move on to try and find this hermit. That is what we came here, after all, to begin with. To Rumbletown! Once arriving in Rumbletown, we're dropped off with Callie and Flynn ditching us. Thanks guys. After a little bit of exploration of the town, we come across the second most memorable part of the stage, Quigley's Grotto. After breaking it with 3 Rex, we begin to explore around, and then are ambushed by 3 stealth elves. This does remind me that we are missing the gal that carried me through the entirety of Spiral's adventure, but Tree-Rex still makes short work of them by constantly smacking the ground. Good going there, Tree-Rex, really smart. Continuing on, we're able to replace the underpants next to Tree Pexe, shout out to Crashing in Skylands, and we get going for Quigley is able to unalive me. Here is where we come across the worst character in the game.
Wrong answer, pal!
My bad, I mean he's a pretty good character, and he's Brock. And after going through waves of enemies, he runs away and holds all the cards, so he knows we're looking for the Hermit. We give chase, soon catch up, only for him to destroy the bridge we're going to use to catch him. After a boring rock puzzle, we immediately catch up and then jump off a cliff. Tree-Rex is hardcore, man. After grabbing her chests and not giving any more money to Tree-Rex since he's maxed out, I just got him this way. And after a feat of strength, we get the heck out of there and catch up to Brock, who's been patiently waiting for us. Good for him. We then get into a battle arena. These can be pretty scary given that I can't switch out if I get into the red, but given that I'm playing on normal, they're manageable. Call me cheap, but I'm not good at giants, so sue me. With the arena battle over, we took Ermit the Hermit and watched the event I talked about earlier unfold. Because powering up the Concatron, we obviously can't let this happen, so we're off to go and collect our own Archean War Bomb. However, the engine gets struck by lightning and we're forced to go to the Cutthroat Carnival to try and repair the ship.
Right, and as long as our engine doesn't take a direct hit from that lightning, we should be fine. Whoa! What are the odds of that?
But as it turns out, Flynn was banned here because he did something to piss off every pirate at this carnival. Honestly, how am I not surprised? Well, we set off to find blobbers at the carnival. We promised to free him, but I feel like playing the dark path. After exploring this area for a while, we come across Skystones. Well, there was a card game of Spiral's Adventure. It was in one of the adventure packs we skipped last time. But Skystones is way more fun. And it managed to stick around in every game after this but one. Neat. However, the rules change game to game, and I think it's at its best here. They peaked on the first attempt. Same right here. Not too long after, another feat of strength, we shoot a cannon and then go free some prisoners. Then I play Skystones with them and leave them broken out.
Only cheese a little.
Then we come to the final area. And I have no idea how to describe it other than a gauntlet, but the giants are still proving why they need to stick around. And so, once having reached the pirate guy, we find out that Flynn owes this guy 5 gold coins, so instead of just giving him out of the like 3,000 we have, we fight to the death and this guy comes out on top. Somehow. We know this because he lets us off with a warning, and the game is Skystones. With the ship prepared, and after being told about a worrying curse, don't worry, we can forget about it, we get out as fast as possible, as Flynn revealed himself like the idiot he is, and Blobbers is left behind. But once out there, we see what Chaos's plan is to. It's to break into the secret Archean Vault of Secrets to get the secret map to the secret city of Arcus, where the Archeans secretly made their plans. In secret. Glumshanks isn't too sure of the plan, but Concatron seems more than confident in getting to the Lost City. And getting the Iron Fist back. Back on the ship, we find that while Blobbers didn't manage to get on board, Dreadbeard did somehow. And we just move on to finding that dang robot. Heading out to the frozen wasteland, we had told it shouldn't be that hard to find a giant robot. And the camera's panning proves Hermit the Hermit to be right. However, not too long until we come across Best Boy, the Machine Ghost, being the one who was possessing the Archean robot. However, we kinda just don't listen to him, as after going through a magic gate we come across Noodles. He seems to believe the robot is evil Ice Master, or something like that, and we destroy his peace offering. So, we vow revenge in response. After killing more of his Cyclopses, we learn how the Archeans keep losing things. They're too big for object permanence to set in. The robots rule Skylands, folks. Some feats of strength and bad guy bashing later, we slide down a massive chain where Noodles continues to tell us how evil and wrong we were for what we did in destroying his offering. We continue to slaughter his men, and then I go in and buy an in-game item that refills my health. The rules only said magic items, and since I don't have to place anything down on the portal, it doesn't count, shut up. If you don't like it, this isn't your playthrough, is it? After a bad ice physics puzzle, Ningini pulls another chain and grabs even more treasure she absolutely does not need. We then get locked in a small arena with multiple waves of enemies to come and try and kill me. Of course they fail, but that won't stop them. We grab both keys we need to clear an easy block puzzle. And then we have to fight Noodles to the death for the robot. Oh, not since it got canned, so now instead the Machine Ghost just takes over the robot and beats Noodles into non-existence for us. Thanks, guy. Now we see that the ship changes over time with the story, a detail I fucking love and wish more of the Hubballs did. I think only Superchargers kept up with it. With the giant Archean robot on our side, we head to the secret Archean Vault of Secrets secretly. Well, we try to, but a giant robot isn't so secretive, so we have to battle our way through the defenses to lower the water levels so we can get into the underwater secret Vault of Secrets. Not much to say on this long level. It's kinda just a level long turret segment other than playing Skylanders with a Weapon Master, and switching out to Bash halfway through for a reason I cannot remember. We did manage to unlock the secret Vault of Secrets, and then it gets destroyed by Chaos and Concatron. Despite having punched multiple Archean warbots to death, Concatron knocks us into a mountain where the Machine Ghost dies and Chaos gets the map, only for it to then be destroyed. Having no other options, the Chaos returns home and we return to the ship with our morale is lower than ever. Having literally no other options, we attempt to break into the castle. However, our ship is damaged for the fucking 1239th time.
It was those Archean security copters. They must have followed us from the vault. I think we're out of range now, but we took a major hit.
Oh, you're kidding me. We just got this thing fixed.
So we have to land down in the creepy wooden village. However, interacting with something, the village comes to life. And from here, we learn that these are Willikins, who have two worlds, the alive world and sleepy time world, except from these are a fucking lie. After raiding these villages, we find ourselves having to fight more bad guys, and blowing up places with bombs. Nothing to see here, folks. After not too long, we can come across a section that I cannot emphasize enough. Do not be a giant on. So, switching out to Bash, we roll our way through these blocks and come across another section of the village. One fight later, and one running Chompy pod later, we come across a giant Chompy. But wait, it's actually the Chompy Mage! So he locks us in the Awake World, and after a little while, he surrounds us with a killing blow. However, a Willikin threw us a remote, and now we can turn the ties in our favour, and change the red bullets to healing bullets, and vice versa. A little while after, he's dead, and never coming back, I swear guys. Don't worry, you can trust me. He wouldn't come back in the reason why it's taken me so long to get to Trap Team. He really wouldn't. Anyways, the Wilkin fixes up our ship, and we learn that the Wilkins were made by Chaos himself. Neat! However, going to attack his home right away would be a death sentence, so we had to go through Troll Home Security. Once we find it, it's peaceful and quiet, and then we're immediately shot at. Well, that changes the mood very quickly. It reminds me of getting that green lubricant in the first game. However, the most I can say about this level is that there is a lot of fighting, switching from giants to cores in a difference of power and speed. And in the end, it's another couple of ways of fighting, but we managed to shut it down, and it seems that it's too late because Chaos has already began playing with Glumshank's memory. He manages to find the map, and it's at this moment that I feel the need to remind people that he is technically a super genius, he's just an idiot about it. With Troll Home Security gone, it's time to go and take on the big guy. This is only level 9, so it probably won't end here. Once arriving at the castle, we find it's quiet and tranquil. For a while anyway, but the massive castle is what we have to break inside of. Then Genie manages to pull it off, and with another feat of strength and playing a nice game of Sky Stones, we then brutally massacre her way inside, having to narrowly avoid spike traps and the like, although why doesn't she just fly over them? It's beyond me, but like, she's clearly floating here, she could just float a little higher please. We swap to Igniter to deal with the smaller situations, as she's just a stage fight right now is all. Anyway, Igniter makes his way to the first of the 2 locks before we come across Audric and buy a healing potion. We switch over to Ninjini, and I can see why you can't do this in any future games, it's kinda broken. Anyway, Ninjini unlocks the second switch, and after completing another feat of strength, now it's time to take on the piss baby himself, Chaos. A quick switch over to T-Rex later. We enter the ballroom and he runs away, leaving this jerk behind. This arena is one of the tougher ones, but it's not too hard to overcome assuming you can be careful, or brute force your way with a giant, either or. With Chaos escaping, we need to go and stop him. And for that, we need to get the biggest drill there is. So of course it's time to play with ghosts. I'm sorry, what? We find ourselves flying close within range of a ghost ship. So we have to go fight it with the goddamn turrets. Yay. Don't worry though, there's still time to fight enemies. And now though, way too difficult. And T-Rex has to be swapped out for his own safety. Don't worry, Igniter will be fine. Oh shit, no wait, he's down to 173 health. Better swap out to save his own life. After another entirely too long turret section, we decided to jump onto the ghost ship. Whoa, we get to run around some spinning bars. Peak design right here, isn't that right, Crypt Crusher? Anyway, we continue on until we get to the main cannon. Using the enemy's attacks, it's neat if a little repetitive having to do that to take out the switch. Having to take out the cannon. But we switch out to Ninjini, and with Ninjini going into the red, I had to switch out again. You know, and then I called him Bash, and we destroy the ghost ship. We can head to the drilling platform and stop Chaos, somehow making it before him. He had a head start and everything, we had to deal with the ghost ship. Guys, I think the story is falling apart. On the oil rig, you get to feel the foreboding nature of this place, with a loud droning song playing in the background. Swarms of enemies trying their best to stop us. They even bring out some of the big guns, and T-Rex managed to carry us through most of the level. But it wasn't meant to last, as he's been switched out. For a little while anyway, or until we find Audric and start to heal up and fight. Until we start to heal up, and then fight.
This drill body's on the scene. But you're going in back with a wobble attack, 'cause you're messing with the wrong machine.
Yeah, this guy's fucking awesome. But halfway through I have to switch out to Ninjini to try and finish the fight before T-Rex hit the red. Once the drill is down, we go and celebrate.
What did you do, Skylander? You just won the final round. I can't keep a beat. And our systems are all shutting down.
Only for Chaos still find his way into the Lost City. And since we have no idea what to do next, we go and find somebody called the Oracle. So we head over to the village where we find it's been completely taken over by Cyclopses and the beast they ride. Honestly, there is literally nothing to say on this level, other than we had a very close call with T-Rex hitting the red. And if you remember the rules, I can't change once they're in the red. On a foot 35 health, you can't even see his health bar down there. We managed to win and kill Pipsqueak, and learn about the mystical Oracle, and leave the town to begin repairs on its own. It's fine, we never return. Once back on the Dread Yacht, we get some help to get to the Oracle. The Oracle then admits he knows everything about the past and present, but nothing of the future. After calling out our name, which scares the hell out of me,
and, of course, T-Rex.
We do as he asks, so he can get some data. In the form of various questions, we get to answer by picking doors. Up first, spiders or chompies. Given that we're a giant and can step on them, we go with chompies. Next question, do we want to be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond? We go for big pond, meaning it's a real fight. But it's better than the alternative, you get swarmed by different enemies that can kill you in 0.3 nanoseconds. Again, right, Crypt Crusher? After that, we get to pick if we'd want to save the princess or stop the bad guy. So I picked the bad guy, because the princess can definitely save herself if the Mario movie has taught me anything. And so we get put in the worst area possible. We fail multiple times and Ninjini gets close to death, so we switch out a few times, as others also get close to death. Now is the question of power and speed. I picked power because it's pretty easy, not gonna lie. Finally, we want wealth or knowledge. We picked knowledge and skipped the original Oracle fight because it got cut, and he sent us back to the Dread Yacht with an auto gyro. That can let us go through the many defences of the Lost Arcane City and sneak us in. With the power of boom, we're off. However, we're too late as Chaos has found that Iron Fist has become Super Robo Chaos, beginning the trend of the last minute Chaos transformations. However, it works here, because given a few levels show Chaos hasn't become fully accustomed to the power. We begin with a massive gimmick, flying through the massive chaos while blasting at turrets. First question, how the frick is she fitting in there? Second question, why do I like what is essentially a massive turret segment? Well, simple, because it's different enough to not feel like they were slamming their heads into a wall for an extended game time. But there's also normal sections of running around and it's fine. We get to see some chops and such, and it's probably the most bland part of the level. We head out in a magic zone to heal up, please stop laughing at me. After a while we get to a safe spot, and now's where I get to tell you that the last two levels were actually split into 2 levels from the originally intended 1 level. And that's great, as if it was to be 1 level, the challenge may have ended before we got to Super Robo Chaos. So, in the first of the 2 levels, nothing much of note happens other than it being hard and me having to shell out an elemental gate or 2. To save up Nagini's health for later, for the final battle and all. We unlock a door, go back to the Dread Yacht, and then go through the final door. Can you tell this was meant to be 1 level? Anyway, the second half of this level continues to be hard, but with some more hiding out and buying potions, we can get all the characters fully healed up for the final boss fight against Chaos. It's definitely much easier than the one from SSA, but that doesn't stop it from being hard. To begin, we have to lure Super Robo Chaos to an avalanche button. However, he immediately figures out what's going on and crushes it before we can do anything with it, damn it. Then the Machine Ghost and Ermit come out of nowhere and begin to beat the shit out of him. Go you two. So, while they proceed to do that, we have to deal with the minions. The pair manage to knock Chaos down to the arena where we can start attacking him. However, as Treerex begins to fail us, I switch out to Ningini and we have to fight the machines that's sending out these red bullets that we have to avoid. And to be safe, since I want to keep the giants for some time after this game, we swap out to Bash to continue the fight and he manages to put out the final blow on Chaos, meaning Chaos has to run away. In fact, he's so hard that the Iron Fist is ripped off his robotic body, returning him to normal. With that, we have to get out of the Lost City as fast as he does. However, while the good guys had an escape plan ready to go, Chaos didn't think he'd lose, so he didn't have a backup plan, causing him and Glumshanks to fall into the void. When I get praised to high heavens and the credits play, I'm just gonna talk here and say this is definitely in the running for my favourite Skylanders game. Well, sure, it's a lot smaller than the last game, and there's just a lot more variety to it, and the gimmick isn't the only way to beat the game, as the giants aren't to make it or break it for part of the game, unlike future gimmicks. So, overall, this was a massive step up from SSA, and I hope it continues in the next game, which is nicely set up with this screen I'm gonna leave you on. So until next time, take care, folks.
Well, that certainly could have gone better. But no matter. I have at least 37 more plans to take over Skylands. Each one more diabolically sinister than the last.
Lord Chaos? Is that who I think it is?